What's up, guys? It is Jock here, also known as Enterprise J on all socials. I'm coming to you with a video at 10 o'clock at night to talk about the ins and out of that I've learned in house flipping. So, if you guys are new to who I am and just want to kind of get a little bit background, I have been in a real estate space for close to 8 years now at this point. Started at 19, flipped my first house when I was 19, 20. Um, if from there, we've done hundreds of transactions, bought and sold a lot of houses, flipped a lot of houses as well. On top of that, made a lot of money on houses, lost a lot of money on houses as well. Some scaled teams, built operations, whole 9 yards, scaled my business to 7 figures. Scaled that down to move out here to Dallas, Texas, where I'm also in the process of reestablishing my team. We're already flipping houses now, but getting into new construction. But besides that, I want to talk to you guys about the key trends to watch out for here in 2025 when it comes to flipping houses, and going into 2026, and the key things that you need to do if you want to get started. And this is applicable to anywhere. And I'm going to give you guys some of the beginner steps to get started with flipping houses. So, number one, making sure you have a good source to find really good deals. So, whether or not if it's real estate agents, whether or not if it's wholesalers, or whether or not if it's your own direct to seller marketing, which I'll be posting videos here in the future about how to source your own deals from all of those channels and how to underwrite, but making sure you have a good source of how to find actual good deals. With that being said, make sure you have a good resource of realtors that you can confirm those numbers as far as that you're determining. So learn how to run your own comps on deals as well, but also make sure you double check and verify your numbers prior to even pulling a purchase on anything with 3 different realtors, just to see what they get as far as values wise. Two, before you make any purchase, and this is actually something that will save you a lot of money beforehand. Do not make the mistake that I've made on some of my projects before in the past. Get a home inspection. Paying paying the 300 or 400 bucks that takes to get a home inspection, so you could get a full understanding of all the major systems in the home, all the major mechanicals, anything that you can't see because you're not a professional home inspector. That will save you so much money because you don't understand the amount of times that we had to spend more money on a house because we started opening up the walls and we started seeing problems that we didn't discover on our first walkthrough. Even if you have good contractors, not every contractor is able to see through walls. Home inspections, regardless of how good your contractor is, are going to be truly necessary. Number three, when it comes to finding good contractors, here's my process. I've done this in Atlanta and I've done this here in DFW as well. Either they're referred to me by somebody that I know, like, and trust, who actually is knowledgeable in the business, or either if they do come to me, they have active projects that I could go and verify, and they also have references as well. And then also, just to kind of share with you guys as well, learn how to interview your contractors. So it's not just having multiple bids, but it's also learning the right questions to ask a contractor. Number one, how long have they been in the business? Number two, how many projects have they completed? Number three, do they have active projects right now? That's a key thing. If they're not referred to you and they come to you, usually it's a red flag if they have no work at the time. Sometimes there's slow seasons, I get it, but if they have no work, I'll say this. Typically, good contractors are always busy. I'm going to say this. So good contractors are always having a project because typically people use them for repeat business. So that's going to be something that you watch out for. Also, on top of that, make sure you ask them on how they process or accept payment as well too. Can they scale? So if you're somebody who's like me and you want to scale your flipping business, that's going to be a big thing too. And watch out, because a lot of contractors will tell you, yeah, we could handle, 3, 4, 5 projects at a time. Ask them specific questions about their team and infrastructure. So I've had contractors in the past that were really good at one or two projects, but once you start going to 3 or 4, that's when things start falling through the cracks because they don't have the infrastructure to handle 3 or 4, but they'll tell you they can, right? So ask them if they have additional project managers on their team. Who are their project managers? If they don't have a project manager and it's just them, I will keep them on 1 project at a time or 2 at max because they can't be at 4 or 5 projects at the same time, especially if you're doing them all over. If you're doing it in a large state like here, like Texas, a large city, like it's an hour here, hour here, hour here, they're not gonna have enough time to check in on all those projects, right? Also, with this being said as well too, making sure that you get a home inspection after you're done with the renovation project as well. So basically what I like to do is I like to make sure I get a home inspection prior to us doing starting the project. We build our scope of work from there. Scope of work is going to be making sure that we address all the major issues that we see, budget for that, send that to contractors, and also budgeting for the design and finishes that we want as well too. Send that to contractors for them to bid us and let us know how much hey, this is how much it's going to cost, right? And I typically like prices in labor, not materials. I like to provide the materials myself, but it depends on the type of relationship I have with the contractors. And then after that, we do a home inspection after. So you want to confirm basically, hey, did you fix everything, right? And the home inspector is going to catch that. Make sure you have it within your contract with the contractor that if none of those items are fixed up to date or whatever, you're holding a portion of the funds that are due to them. Let's just say 10 to 15% of the total project until they go back and fix those and it's signed off by your home inspector, and then you can release that. So this prevents you from going under contract, listing the home on the market, going under contract with buyer, and then the buyer terminating because there's stuff on the inspection report. We've had that happen many, many times before where deals will fall apart because of the inspection report. And then you have to go try to find another buyer again. It looks bad on the market. We've had houses that we sat on for 6 months because of situations like that, right? So that's going to be a key thing. Oh, also another thing, if you're flipping within an area, make sure your house looks different from the rest of the competition, right? So here are some of the key things and key areas that you could focus on to help kind of separate your house. Colors. No matter what color you paint a house, typically it's going to cost the same, right? So picking out the right colors is going to help separate you. So staying away from like the grays or anything of that nature, or just a plain whites, or either using your cabinets to highlight the space, right? Again, it's the same cost of labor. Same thing too with your finishes, your vanities, right? If you spend an extra $100 or like an extra $200 or $300 on the vanity, it's the same cost of labor to install. But that extra difference in that 100, 200, or $300 makes a difference in how the house looks. Same thing with your lights as well. So being careful with your materials and your finishes is going to be a big thing. Or even adding accent walls. Accent walls are pretty easy to add. All right, you just buying another can of paint, whatever, it's going to be $50, plus whatever labor they charge to paint the wall. And then you have your little 1x6 strips from Home Depot that are very, very cheap. Accent walls, very, very cheap, but they add a little bit more design to whatever property that you're flipping. So that's going to be a key thing. After that as well, making sure you properly budget for the holding costs and that you have the money lined up in regards to like the holding costs of the deal. Having good lenders. Best way that you can find really good lenders, go to your local title company or closing attorney for whatever state that you're in, right? And ask them, hey, who do you know that's a good lender? Those people close the deals for those lenders. They're going to know. When I first moved here to Texas, I went to my local title company. I said, hey, who do you know that lends money? They connect me with multiple people that do 100% financing, right? Finding money is very, very easy in our industry. You just got to know who to ask and who to connect with, right? So that's going to be another big thing. And then also making sure you budget for your holding costs as well. And then two, when it comes to listing your property, list it below the market, right? We're already in the buyer's market right now. So you need to be selling a good deal that's finished, right? But if you do all of those things, I promise you that you're going to pretty much probably like 8 times out of 10 make money in the industry. Don't get me wrong, not everything goes to plan. Of course, things fall apart. Sometimes you just buy a house in a really, really bad area. You can have like the best, nicest house, but if you buy in a very, very bad area, I mean, it doesn't really matter at what price you sell for at that point. Sometimes people just don't want the house in general. So making sure you're also careful of the location that you buy in too. So there's going to be big things that you're going to want to do and focus on if you want to get into flipping here in 2025.